Bonjour tout le monde and welcome to CBN4's Primetime News Package. I am Alien Christopher and first up tonight, Dominica celebrates Creole Day. It's 39 years since Dominica gained its independence, and during this festive season, Creole Day is celebrated around the island. On this day, much emphasis is placed on speaking the Creole language as well as dressing in the national wear. The reigning Miss Wob Duet, who serves as an ambassador for Dominica, believes that more young persons are embracing the culture. The Miss Wob Duet pageant is an event that takes place every year that features women from different communities who promote Dominica's culture. The reigning Miss Wob Duet encouraged Dominicans to celebrate despite the circumstances surrounding the passage of Hurricane Maria.
I'd like to tell everyone to embrace the culture no matter what the situation is, and nothing can bring us down. It's our culture, it's our independence, let's embrace it.
And Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Social Services, Family and Gender Affairs, Helen Roye, publicly announced that the 3rd of November will be celebrated. The 3rd of November marks the celebration of 39 years since Dominica gained its independence. The event is held every year. However, due to the passage of Hurricane Maria, there were speculations over whether or not the event will take place.
Well, really is the time factor, because as you realize, as I said, we had a long, detailed program of activities, and you know, it's not something you could just decide. You have to make sure that the structure is in place. If we do not get the persons for the stage, if we were not able to get the other important stakeholders to buy in, it would have been a problem. But we actually had a meeting just prior to Erica with our stakeholders, and we knew exactly what we wanted. But the challenge was making sure that we still have, let's say, like our florist. We know we do not have flowers, so we couldn't just say that we're going to be decorating. And while we are going to be doing a shortened version, you still want the place to look very well. So when we called our first the person that we were expecting to do it,
the Honorable Catherine Daniel, the Minister for Social Services, Family and Gender Affairs, addressed the nation on today's celebration of Creole Day. The Honorable Minister revealed that while Hurricane Maria may have affected lots of the activities scheduled to take place during the Creole season, Maria gave Dominica an opportunity to really develop those qualities that are essential for nation building.
Today marks the 39th day of the devastation of Hurricane Maria, a situation which brought with it a plethora of emotions. But what struck me with reference to our independence celebration is that man indeed proposes and God disposes. We at the Ministry of Social Services with responsibility for the celebration of our independence, the National Day Parade, and other cultural activities, we were much, taken back or daunted when all plans had to be put aside. However, we had launched Independence Celebration already, which was launched on the 16th of September. But the celebration was to take place from the 16th of September to the 4th of November. And as you know, Maria struck on the 18th, thus again emphasizing man proposes and God disposes. Now, what happened? Sometimes we have to sit back and reflect what's happening to us. And it brought into sharp focus, the events of September 18th brought into sharp focus the true meaning of the words we often take for granted. Unity, love, caring, patriotism, collaboration, relevance, sharing.
Daniel went on to say that amidst the negative impacts brought about by the hurricane, there are many lessons to learn from it.
We need to reflect. Why are we celebrating? We need to reflect on the true meaning of these words, asking ourselves the question as expressed in song. What service shall we render thee, Dominica, we love? The service of this island state is not in words alone. A nobler people shall arise if worthy deeds are done. And so with that being said, we are calling on Dominicans, both here and abroad, to join us in this celebration. Let us take pride in our country. Let us take pride in the development of our country. Let us look in this sad situation that we have come through, what it is that we can do better. Because for many, you may be seeing it as a devastation, but some of the lessons that came out of that, and which this celebration we are hoping will bring together this in our people, brothers and sisters, people who were not talking, found themselves serving as shelters to each other, found themselves talking again. So there are lots of positive in spite of the storm.
And in other news, due to the damages sustained at the ferry terminal in Roseau, the Kenfield Airport and Douglas Charles Airport, the Woodbridge Bay Port has served as Dominica's main port of entry and exit. Since the passing of Hurricane Maria, a large number of persons were seen exiting Dominica's shore on the ferry terminal at the Woodbridge Bay Port. Acting Permanent Secretary Ms. Joanne Commodore in the Ministry of Justice, Immigration and National Security told CBN4 News the exact figure that represents the number of people who have migrated out of Dominica.
Okay, our statistics as at the 25th stand at 10,602, if I am to be exact, yes.
Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice, Immigration and National Security, Joanne Commodore. Creole is a language spoken here in Dominica, and today marks the celebration of all Creole activities, particularly the language. On Creole Day, Dominicans are encouraged to speak Creole. However, well-known radio personality Dennis Joseph reveals a time when speaking the Creole language in Dominica was highly discouraged. Joseph remembers his attempts to promote the language in the media, but not without a lot of disapproval of persons from the public.
When I was asked to take over this radio station, at that time they felt that the stations outside of Dominica were more popular than our own local station. In those days it was called Radio Dominica. So I agreed to do so. And when I got in there, I asked, well, what was the programming like? I had the name changed then to what it is today, DBS Radio. It was my doing, actually, Dominica Broadcasting Service. And then I asked, what's the programming like? And I got this, what I call wishy-washy type of program. And so I put the station up there for a week. They needed news at midday to redo the programs. And one of the things I thought we should have is Creole, because so many of our farmers actually spoke Creole. And I was always amazed that we should be reading the banana notices in highfalutin English. Most of those people who were interested in the banana notices actually excelled in Creole. So I thought we should do something about it. I introduced, with the help of my colleague Alvin Knight, who was the assistant, discussed it, and we decided to introduce a Creole program. But we knew it was going to be a problem, because in those days, to be in Creole meant you were a country bookie. In other words, you shouldn't be around a radio station, and to introduce that on radio was going to be trouble. And we did find trouble when we started. People were calling me all sorts of names, even threatening to hang me because I was destroying their children's brain, their education, and everything I was doing was so bad. And that went on for a while. I'm cutting to the chase because there's so much to it, but people were just not interested in having Creole on the radio. And so I had Ferdinand Frampton, who is now deceased, who was this kind of humorous kind of Creole broadcaster. And he would say all kinds of things to make people laugh. And I thought that was a way of introducing the Creole. So I did one program a week, which he called New Men. That was on a Friday for 1 hour. Even that meant that it was serious problems. But I persisted, and then I wanted to expand the program, but I didn't think Ferdinand's kind of style was good for a serious program, which I wanted. I didn't want Creole to be like the joke of the radio station when it comes on. It's like laughter time. I needed somebody, and I found Felix. That is a story by itself, but I found Felix Henderson. And through him, I was able to introduce the daily program, which is still going on today. In fact, it has hardly expanded. It's the same 1 hour and a half. And today, to hear that this thing which was so scandalous, which people were threatening to do all kinds of things to me for, there is a whole day dedicated to that. So it's a bit of a victory, a triumph for me. And I was of the view that we could change a lot of things if we just persist.
The staging of the 20th World Creole Music Festival 2017, 3 nights of pulsating rhythms, was set to have kicked off this evening. But unfortunately, the annual festival was cancelled, especially as Hurricane Maria wreaked havoc over Dominica. The Caribbean, however, will still be able to enjoy a similar concert. Other islands have stepped up to the plate to host benefit concerts starting this evening.
We're going to be having a number of benefit concerts that have been held in Antigua and Barbuda, the Caribbean Strong concert. It's going to be one in Barbados, the I Am concert as well. There's going to be a telethon that will be helping to raise funds for Dominica and for Barbuda in the Antigua one. So we want to be very thankful for the organizers in Antigua and Barbados who are doing that. It's also an effort in Trinidad and Tobago that will be taking place in terms of supporting Dominica as well. And there's something happening in Guadeloupe, hopefully in December.
Val Coffey said that patrons to the benefit concerts can expect some local bands as well.
But we are happy that the people can go around dressed in the Madras outfits and try and get the Creole foods as much as possible as they can get in these hard times. But we know that we as Dominicans are resilient and we can stand through all sorts of adversity. Those of us who experienced Erica, who experienced Hurricane David, we have the maturity to help build this country back and to make the creative industries come back alive.
Val Coffey told CBN4 News that Dominicans can, however, remain on standby for Carnival 2018. The festival's committee are presently planning and ask for the support of the general public, especially as Dominica is going through a challenge at this time. He said that in spite of the situation in Dominica right now, he is happy to see Dominicans expressing their love for country.
Know that we as Dominicans are resilient and we can stand through all sorts of adversity. Those of us who experienced Erica, who experienced Hurricane David.
And that was Val Coffey, Festival and Events Manager of the Dominica Festivals Committee. Building a brighter future together, the theme for Independence 2017, is the echo heard all across Dominica after the passing of Hurricane Maria, which hit the island right at the start of its independence celebrations. Every year during the independence celebrations, the country holds various cultural activities all over the island, which culminates with the Cultural Gala, which is held at the Botanical Gardens on Independence Day. This year, some adjustments were made and most cultural activities were cancelled. Gregory Rabes, the Cultural Project Officer at the Ministry of Culture, told CBN4 News that while the main event has been cancelled, some other activities have been planned.
Cyclone Maria affecté en lo bagay, mais quand même nous avons fêté journée créole comme normal dernier vendredi en mois octobre tous les années c'est journée créole. So ça qui a en place bon il y a de l'école qui a chaîne ça qui assemblées in English. Moi même qui convainc tout à l'heure là pour parler avec ces petits enfants sur bagay créole et puis bon c'est normal là genre normal ça radio c'est radio programme yo c'est créole tout ça mais Cultural Gala, pequeño Cultural Gala c'est là ça qui font place et qui bon et qui ni en sorte de quoi ça on parade nationale et puis en différence et puis et puis il y a intégrer yon des bagailles dans ces belles bails comme ça cadre en dans bitin. OK, nous ça fait un bagay, un seul bagay pour le 3 novembre. Le matin, Maria. Most of the cultural competitions we had to abandon, except those for the literary and art. We continued with the poetry in English and the Creole and the short story competitions. We continue with the art competitions. Of course, we are encouraging the artists to submit works that depict their own interpretations of the passage of Tropical Storm Maria. For Independence Day itself, I don't have the final details of the plan, but there won't be a cultural gala as we have it in normal times, but there's going to be some event where obviously the Prime Minister will address the nation, and some cultural presentations will be integrated into that event.
He stated further that in spite of the circumstances, we as Dominicans are keeping the independent spirit well alive.
Most of the cultural competitions had to be abandoned, except those for the literary and art. We continued with the poetry in English and the Creole and the short story competitions. We continued with the art competitions. Of course, we are encouraging the artists to submit works that depict their own interpretations of the passage of Tropical Storm Maria. For Independence Day itself, I don't have the final details of the plan, but there won't be a cultural gala as we have it in normal times, but there's going to be some event where obviously the Prime Minister will address the nation, and some cultural presentations will be integrated into that event.
And that was Gregory Rabes, the Cultural Projects Officer in the Ministry of Culture.
The way that we celebrate independence celebrations today, but the spirit is there, spirit is alive. People have been flying the flag since from the day after Maria. So it have this sense of patriotic spirit that Dominica strong and we will rise again. So even if the Maria knock us down, but we ain't dead yet. So we're rising again. Nature is coming back alive. You can see the greenery is coming back. So therefore, we as the people, we got to bounce back as well. And we are bouncing back.
Convent High School, one of the first schools to reopen in spite of apparent damages to its building after Hurricane Maria, is celebrating Creole Day today. Students were beautifully dressed in many different versions of the Creole wear and participated in a special assembly. Commissioner Dominic was live at the school.
In spite of all the challenges after Hurricane Maria, Convent High School has come together to put on some lovely activities on Creole Day. Miss Lando, what activities you had today?
Well, we started off the day with an assembly. We had, of course, the Bible reading. We had prayers for our nation and prayers especially for the people who have come forward to help Dominica. And we had some entertainment, or I should say, well, yes, entertainment from people like Firelander, who sings I Believe, and indeed we do believe that this is not the end for Dominica. We had the sixth form Sister singers, members of the Sister singers singing Pour Dominic for Dominica. We had students of the music department playing. We also had addresses by cultural officers, Mr. Raymond Lawrence as well as Mr. Rabes. So we started with a bang, the day has started with a bang, and we are really grateful to God that He could bless us so much that we could see this day and still celebrate. I know for many people they were a little bit reluctant to come out and dress, because for most people they say, what is there to celebrate? But there's so much to celebrate. Yes, the landscape is not what we're accustomed of singing about in our songs, the lush mountains, but because we believe it's going to come back, we are continuing to celebrate Dominica's culture. Our culture is not dead and it's not limited by the storm. So for the rest of the day, we will be having other activities, performances from the children and staff members.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Landa. I know you have to go back to your class. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Have a bonne journée Creole.
Merci.
And close to 500 second-year students of the Dominica State College are expected to return to school on November 6th following damages done by Hurricane Maria. Speaking at the daily press brief with the focus on the Dominica State College, President of the DSC, Donald Peters, noted that the State College applied for a CDB grant in order to open up the college. The Dominica State College suffered severe damages to infrastructure on the night of September 18th. And the President is of the view that it will take a huge effort to reopen the State College doors in November.
So I met with the staff again and we decided that we're going to move to open school on November 6th for second-year students. That's almost 500 students, and those finishing who are going to do the A-levels, CAPE, those who want to graduate by December, finish courses, others who require gen ed courses. All of those factors bring anxiety to students. So we decided to go ahead and open campus for November 6th, sorry. That in itself is going to take a human effort. The first thing we've done is to apply for a CDB grant to open the college, and if CDB is listening, I trust they will be considerate and approve the grant request, and so that we can move on with getting the equipment we require to open the institution. The faculty and staff have been gracious. They have been here. They have been working, helping clean classrooms. And to understand the magnitude of what we have to do, we normally have 43 classrooms in which we deliver instructions. We currently have only 8, and that also has to house administrative staff and faculty. So it's going to be a very interesting adventure to do it, but we are committed to do that. And before I left, I was informed that we are now going to offer at least 92 classes a week, Monday to Friday, from 8:35 to 3:45 every day. So we're trying to get everybody in the routine of classroom instructions, and hopefully we'll get our labs and our IT system back on track.
Presently, the State College is in dire need of technology for classrooms, labs, microscopes, and many other materials which students use for learning at the DSC. However, Peters claimed that the faculty and staff remains positive to the scheduled date for the reopening of school. The president also went on to mention that in the new year, school will be open for Year 1 and Year 2 students.
People may ask, well, what happened to first-year students? 2 things. If there's a first-year students who want to come and do gen ed courses, they're free to do that on November 6th. But we will open in the new year for Year 1 and Year 2 students. And what we're going to try to do is run 2 semesters from January to July. It's going to be a miracle, but we can do it. And I'm sure the faculty and staff will be very supportive of that effort.
Dr. Peters stated that the Dominica State College have compiled at least a list of courses that they are able to make available to students at this time.
Currently, what we plan to do on November 6th is offer 8 courses for health sciences in the Faculty of Health Sciences, 7 in the Faculty of Education, there's a small faculty, 22 in the Faculty of Applied Arts and Technology, and 55 in the Faculty of Arts and Sciences.
And in relation to the shooting death of 52-year-old Eddie James, which occurred on Friday, October 20th, 2017 in the community of Silver Lake, the police have concluded investigations, and as a result, a charge of murder has been preferred against Kurt Charles, male adult of Silver Lake. Kurt Charles was taken before a magistrate on Monday 23rd October 2017, where the charges was read to him, and he was subsequently remanded at the Dominica State Prison. On Sunday, 22nd October 2017, during a curfew enforcement patrol at Buffet State, the police had the occasion to carry out a search of a Toyota RAV4 registration number PT179, owned and at the time in the custody of Custer Cyprian of Buffet State. 19mm semi-automatic pistol and 0.8 grams of alleged cocaine was found in the said vehicle. On Monday, 23rd October 2017, Cyprian was formally charged for violation of curfew, possession of alleged cocaine, and possession of a firearm without being the holder of a firearm user's license. And this has been the presentation of CBN4's Primetime News Package for this evening. I am Alan Christopher saying thank you for watching, thank you for joining us, and do join us again next time.